As you can see in the auto configuration, these are settings I entered. I'm in a aerospace RJ85 plane and the mini jumbo, and flying this altitude 240, flight level, cruise speed 290. I don't know if it will reach that speed, but that doesn't matter really. It's not automated, the speed. And all the settings here you can see. If we go to the flight plan itself, you can see the calculated waypoints, altitude, speeds, distances, everything. And the editing a flight plan is quite easy. You can activate a line and delete it. You can activate a line and copy it, place it in another row. You can really edit it by hand, and you can edit a text file as well, which it's saved as a text file. So yeah, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can delete as well. If you edit a flight plan incorrectly, it wouldn't read it anymore and the program can crash. So be careful with that. Okay, just go back to the flight. We are inbound Casti, as you can see. The current altitude is 138, 139 now. And the speed is 311 knots. Ground speed, this is the ground speed. And you see the wind. And you see the white line is the current heading, and the red line is the autopilot heading. So the autopilot heading is set by the white line. Okay. As you can see, we are at cruise altitude now. Speed is 338 ground speed. Now I'm going to show you how to engage a go-to. You need the force, the NDBs and the fixes for this. And if the controller asks you to go to off-dot, you just click with the right mouse button on off-dot and it will say fly direct off-dot, yes. And the heading will adjust to off-dot. And the route will be disengaged. You see AP direct. So that's all to do. You can switch away the force NDBs and force NDBs and fixes again. It's better to keep the fixes on at the moment. The same happens with holdings. I will show you in a minute. When you want to go out of the go-to and follow the route again, you just click on this one. It will disengage the go-to, then engage the route again and then search for the right waypoint you want to go to. I want to go to Roist, and then activate it. And the heading will adjust to Roist again, as you can see. So when we are on Roist, I'm going to show you how to engage a holding. We are inbound Roist, still at cruise level. I'm going to activate a holding over Roist, which will be working when the fixes are on. Okay, zoom in on Roist. Then click with the mouse wheel on Roist, and you see here holding at Roist the heading, left or right turn. You can set that. The speed will be 220 and the leg's length will be 3 minutes. You press OK and you see a little red hold here, which means there's a holding here. It will follow. So if I put the vertical nav active, as you can do now, it doesn't work because the holding is active. Stand by. We'll disengage the holding. Inbound Roist, yes. Vertical nav, speed nav. Now I'm going to activate the holding again. 298. The heading is, by the way, the heading which is current for the plane. And now press OK. And the holding will engage. Okay, we are inbound Roist again. So I'm going to disengage the holding, which is clicking on this button. Holding is disengaged. Engaging lateral nav. and we go to Roist, engage. That should do the trick. Vertical nav active, speed active. Okay. We are inbound flight level 120, which means that if you reach 120, the speed will go down to 250 knots. The rest of the speeds are the initial approach fix, which is here, EAF, and the final approach fix, which is here, FAF. Those speeds can be set in the Autopilot configuration table, which is here. Descent speed 270 is the normal descent speed from cruise level. Then the approach speed 120 will be activated at the final the initial approach fix, and the final approach speed will be set at the final approach fix. Those speeds you need to set before calculating the route and the descent in the flight plan. If you change these, you can recalculate the flight plan, and the speeds will be entered in the flight plan, and the plane will follow those as set. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. I go back to the map mode, arc mode, to the arc mode again. Okay, here we are. Okay, the next part will be in the approach. We are 64 miles from the approach, from the landing. What I usually do is go to flight plan and then go to airport info, and you can really see the approach. What you can also do here when the autopilot is engaged is clicking on the frequency of a beacon, and it will automatically set it in flight sim. So what I'm going to do now is set the ILS for this runway. Just right click here, and you can see here that the ILS radio frequency and course are set. You can do the same with NDBs and VORs. So I'm clicking on the VOR, and the VOR is set to VOR2. ILS is always set to VOR1, and for the fun we can also take a NDB. I think this one, it's out of the route, but that's no problem. And you see the NDB radio is set also. Okay. Okay, we are close to the final approach. I set the speed and the vertical nav to manual. Vertical nav is still auto, but the speed is manual. So I'm going to reduce the speed now to 130, should be okay. 135. And flaps full. And as soon as I have the approach needle in the middle, you can activate the approach in the plane, and Navari will be the information Navari sends will not be handled anymore, so you can switch it off then. I'm going to show you. I can just enter the approach now. Approach is set, as you can see by the red line, which is the heading, but it's not working anymore in the plane in flight sim. Okay, this was the autopilot settings. There will not be another video. I wish you lots of fun. Bye bye.